Happy Catter Day as the blue dogs are chasing the cat lady who's chasing the postman, who's chasing much of nothing, but who's chasing your checks? Let's get to action. Hey, good morning. This is Morning to LALATE. It's Saturday morning. Thank you for joining me and waking up. The toast is toasting, the coffee's brewing, the butter is buttering the toast, and the hash browns, are on the griddle. I'm here, you're here, and thank God those wonderful flock of sheep, the House of Representatives, are about to land in D.C. within the hours. This is Saturday morning, our half-hour programming block every morning, LALATE mornings actually, our half-hour programming block every day at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Big, exciting, great news about the second stimulus check. New news, new details overnight, and a lot of reasons why you should be informed and educated and optimistic that a second stimulus check is coming to you. This broadcast this morning is going to go over why you're going to get the second stimulus check, when you're going to get the second stimulus check, and going to debunk a lot of incorrect information out there about the check, the package, then hazard pay, then FPUC, and then rent assistance. This is the mega package. This is the Costco of a morning broadcast, the 5 for 6 roll of extra toilet paper. Let's get right to it. A second stimulus check has been agreed upon. And what's important to understand is that, for example, this morning Newsweek's headline news story says, new renewed optimism as a second stimulus check could likely be coming to you because of the return of House representatives to D.C. What's going on? If you just joined this channel, about a week ago today, Nancy Pelosi had a representative out in New York, Carolyn Maloney, and her baloney bill, order members of Congress back into session, well, at least the House, to vote on a bill about the post office. I immediately reported that's great news because it'll get the second stimulus check negotiations ramped up again. This morning, Newsweek is confirming much the same. New renewed optimism and hope were the words of that article, among other articles this morning saying much the same. Now, it's not just news reporters, it's also the people that Nancy actually works with, not works against. The Blue Dogs, the New Democratic Coalition, and a series of other groups of Democrats that amount to, not just 10 people, but 300 to 500 people have now told her, today, Nancy, Saturday, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, do standalone bills. And what does this mean? There's an agreement upon the second stimulus check. And that agreement can be done in a standalone bill. Why? Because about 3 weeks ago, if you're new to this channel, I'll explain what happened. About 3 weeks ago, 4 people whose names are Mark Meadows, Steve Mnuchin, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer, all met in a room for a few days and agreed upon a second stimulus check. The president agreed upon a second stimulus check. Everyone agreed upon a second stimulus check. And so, why was it sent? It wasn't sent because it's in a big package that has a lot of other stuff in there that a lot of people don't want, including being included. And that strangleholded your check and didn't allow it to go sent out. Well, sensible people realized, both from the Republican and the Democrat standpoint, if we agree upon the check, and America's going hungry, and America's going homeless, send out the check as a standalone bill. Just write a 1, 2 to 2 page bill, send it out, we'll all agree upon it, we'll be done. Like that. And that's why there's renewed optimism, because the powers that be, the flock of sheep, the members of the House of Representatives, are back in town. They're back in town. And that was among the 3 major concerns, not about you getting the check, because you're getting the check. You're getting the check. The question was, how could you get the check? And we had 3 concerns over a week ago. Here they were. 1, Members of the House and Senate were not in session and were not coming back into town because they're on recess until September. Hi, Fox News. Fox News and a lot of also other news sources were falsely telling people that no work on the second stimulus check whatsoever was being sought by either Republicans or Democrats until the September return to Congress, and that we would see no activity. Not true. Second, the allegations was they couldn't work on it. Also untrue. And so last week we got an incredible great news when Nancy Pelosi ordered members of Congress back into session for the House to chase a postman about his postman issues. Well, everyone was just delighted, as I was included, because this brought them back to talk about everything else. She wasn't bringing them only back for one bill. She was bringing them back to session. Now, how was this so critical? It was critical because these representatives wanted to get your stimulus check out. I'm going to say this very clearly to the camera. Wanted to get your stimulus check out. Who are they? 114 Democrats in one coalition called the New Democrat Coalition. 200 or 300 bipartisan Democrats in the House and Senate that want to get your second stimulus check out. These are incredible groups and sums of people who want to do a few things. They want to do a standalone bill for the stimulus check, standalone bill for unemployment benefits, and I want to do a standalone bill also for eviction moratorium. They want to get these things out and done, meaning law in your hands, money in your pocket now. And they saw that this return back to Congress today, Saturday, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, starting those days, was great news. Well, today, that news is being amplified. There is renewed sense of optimism by the news, by the representatives themselves, by the Democrats, and by the Republicans. Now, the Republicans clearly have wanted to do this. If you're new to this channel, let me back up to what happened over 2.5 weeks ago, sadly. Well, let me back up even further than that. 4 weeks ago, 4 people were designated to negotiate your second stimulus check. They are Nancy Pelosi, head of the House, Chuck Schumer, senator out in New York, who I will talk about in a second, and it won't be good, Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary to Donald Trump, who's in charge of the IRS that sends out the actual checks, and Mark Mnuchin, who's a very, very new member of the Trump administration cabinet, chief of staff, just got that job in May. If you didn't know, the first stimulus package was negotiated by Nancy and Steve only. This one has 4 people in a room. Well, 2 weeks ago, the negotiations fell apart. It fell apart not because of the check. There's an agreement upon the check. Not because of eviction moratorium. Not because of unemployment benefits, which ostensibly was agreed upon within a $200 range. It was because of other stuff. I'll get to that in a second. Well, Nancy said, I'm not going to come back. Nancy said, I'm just not going to talk to you anymore. Oh, boy. That did not sit well. It didn't sit well with you. It didn't sit well with Steve Mnuchin. It didn't sit well with the White House. It didn't sit well with the Republicans. It didn't sit well with the Democrats as well. And so now it all sort of percolated. And I told you the pressure heat kicked in, and it really is now a key issue. So what's going to happen? There's renewed optimism that $1,200 second stimulus check would land in your bank account in the month of September. It can't come in August. We're too late in the month. So I'm not gonna give you false information like that. I just, people are doing this and this and this and saying it's going out this weekend. I mean, that's insane. First of all, no one sends money on Saturday. I mean, when was the last time you saw a bank open to send money on Saturday? I mean, banks are open on Saturday, but no one sends money on Saturday. But no, nothing's going out today. Rather, what's happening is the return of the people who can agree to extract by the jaws of life your stimulus check out of a bloated, undesired package and get it done. Really great news. How would this work? $1,200 individuals, $2,400 married couple, dependents, we get checks. Adult dependents, minor dependents, great news, because the first time around they didn't get checks. I have my viewers who are veterans who are also dependents. I have my viewers who are on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and railroad benefits, and are dependents. Dependents means you're dependent on someone else's tax return. And a lot of you have this is really great news, a lot of you have become empowered because of this channel, and you now know what it means to be a dependent. It means you appear on someone else's tax return. And a lot of you are screwed. You were screwed the first time around because you did not get a check because Congress messed up and they said, we're not going to pay adult dependents 18 years of age or older. So Congress said, "Oh, you caught us. We're going to fix it this time around. We're going to give you a check." Well, the Republicans want to give you 500. The Democrats want to give you 1,200. I don't think it's a deal breaker. I think it's going to get done at 1,200. And finally, child support. The issue of child support. Democrats don't want to take out for child support. Republicans do want to take out for child support. That's it. Get it done. It's agreed upon. Get it done. Well, Nancy wants to not do it because of 30,000 other things in her mindset. Everyone's sick of Nancy. Everyone is absolutely, categorically sick of Nancy at this point. Democrats, Republicans, Democrats of California, Democrats of Southern California, Democrats in other states. Everyone's sick of Nancy Pelosi at this point. And if she doesn't see it, she needs to wake up. And it's not just for checks. It's a lot of other things, which I'm not going to cover on this channel. But she's done a lot of very bad things in the last 8 to 10 days. All right, so how about the issue of how and when this could get done? You got to really stay with this channel, because in the next 3 to 4 days are absolutely going to be critical. I got to tell you why the next couple of days are critical. And I don't want you to think this is a break or die moment, but I got to tell you, you have them back in session. You have them back in town, the Congress. The official start date was going to be for, I think the Senate was September 8th. For the House was September 15th. That was their official start date. The shutdown day for the government is September 30th. Yes. So they were originally only supposed to be given 15 days to do the second stimulus package, shutdown bill, balancing the budget, armed services bill, all within 15 days. You have to see how much work they get done starting tomorrow, because that is where the promising news is. We already have promising news coming in, but we have to see incredible progress, and you have to stay on top of them by tagging them on social media. You've been doing that. As to the remainder of the second stimulus package, what's going on with that? This is the issue, and this is also great news. The second stimulus package was sort of a mystery to you, to me, to the electorate, to Americans. Why was the stimulus package not getting approved? I mean, we're in a pandemic, we're struggling here, we're homeless, we have no money. Why is there such a difficulty getting the stimulus package out? We didn't know what was in the stimulus package, despite the guy with the purple shirts, telling us all the parts. I wasn't telling you all the parts because I can't do 125 pages of a bloated bill in a 20-minute video. Well, there's some really bad stuff in there. Let's just make it very simple. There's some very bad stuff in there. Now we know where the bad stuff is coming from. It's called New York, and it's called Chuck Schumer. Remember that guy I told you about that's in the negotiation rooms, Chuck Schumer? Yeah, guess who is asking for more than anyone else? Chuck Schumer. Guess who wants a bailout of the states? Chuck Schumer. Guess which state needs the biggest bailout? Chuck Schumer's state. Guess what Chuck Schumer has done for your second stimulus checks? Nothing. Guess what Chuck Schumer has done in the last week? Got a standalone bill for Broadway. Hey, the show must go on. Broadway? Really? You're getting a standalone bill to give relief to Broadway so that, I can make 5,000 jokes about that, but I'm not, because I'm so pissed, while Americans go hungry. That is the epitome of special interest. That's the epitome of self-serving government, working for your city, your state, and not for the entire people. If that's what you want to do, Chuck, get out of the negotiation room. Leave it for Nancy and Steve and just everyone else out of the room, or get someone else out of the room and replace Nancy with that as well. Steve Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, said stimulus check is ready to go out this coming week. Great news. I mean, I can't make this any clearer. They said the check will go out this week. All that we have to do is get Nancy to agree upon it. President says the check will go out this week. All that we have to do is Nancy to agree upon it. And how quickly would you get the money? And I know this is a big issue because I got to always brief you on the calendar. Mark your calendar. It's 13 approximate days from the date in which Steve and Nancy make an agreement. So always keep that in the back of your mind. LALATE told me it's 13 days approximately if I'm set up for electronic delivery from the date in which Nancy and Steve make an agreement. Not from the Congress, not from the House, not from the President signing the bill, but about 13 days from there on after. So that's really relatively quick. That's incredibly great news. We just have to get there. So I told you about the stimulus package. Let's go to hazard pay. Hazard pay is really going to be on the back shelf. And I had some viewers ask, why doesn't hazard pay get a standalone bill? It's just not. It's not an urgent issue right this minute. $10,000 to essential workers who are working, who have jobs, who had jobs, is not the big priority for purposes of the electorate at the moment. The priority is people who don't have jobs. The priority is people who don't have stimulus checks. Everyone would get these. These are the people who are literally on the edge of the financial cliff, as opposed to people who are actually working. You're not in my wishes. I'm just telling you what the feeling is among Democrats. You're not the top priority. Currently, the top priority is stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, and rent eviction moratorium. All right, let me go to unemployment benefits. I mean, LWA. If you watched Cal and FEMA last night, where Cal tried to hit on FEMA, Cal's the surfer from California who just decided to apply for FEMA today or yesterday after Arizona hit on her first. And Arizona's been flirting with FEMA for over a week and got very far with FEMA and has already gotten some funds from FEMA. I want to explain something very quickly, and I want to make it very blunt. There's some governors out there that are spilling the most bogus claims to its citizens that I can't even see straight. Ultimately, you can go read FEMA yourself and decide if your state governors are lying, but they're lying. I mean, they're just blatantly lying. What's going on is the following. FEMA said that the first few states that applied for LWA will get the money, $300 for 3 weeks. They will get 3 weeks. FEMA then said of the next few states, about 5 to 10, they may get 3 weeks. They may not get 3 weeks. They may get 2 weeks. FEMA at that point made clear around states number 8 to 10 that were approved that we don't have enough money, that we are running out in 3 weeks. We are running out in 3 weeks. And that we are doing first come, first serve, which is Arizona first, and that will do the first 5 states, see if we have enough for 3 weeks. We'll do the next 5 states and see if we have enough for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And then after that, we may have nothing. So there's all these states that now have come in at state number 35, 45, and are issuing these incredible press releases like, hey, we're the state of Texas, and we've applied, and we're getting money next week. You're hogwash. You're hogwash. You got 30-something states in front of you that FEMA's already said that they doesn't think that they have enough money for you. That's the first thing. Second, FEMA's already said the 30-something states before you may not even get 3 weeks of benefits. They may get 2 weeks of benefits, may get 1 week of benefit. Fourth, FEMA's actually said that states that are applying, anywhere after number 10, you may not see the benefits for several weeks. Now, ultimately, FEMA may not be telling the truth. I'm just telling you what FEMA said. If FEMA's incorrect, then FEMA's incorrect. But I'm telling you what FEMA said. So for states like Texas to come and say, we're giving you checks next week, not from FEMA's money. FEMA, just not going to happen. Next, there were some people that were spewing false reports. I think there's also out of Texas that Texas was going to give the $100 per week on top of the $300 a week. No. So far, only 2 states have agreed to pay the $100 on top of the $300, and those are Kentucky, and Montana. No one else is agreeing to do that. Remember, $100 per week can be done all the way to December if they want to, but also remember, $300, 3 weeks max. Not being paid this week unless you're Arizona or a few of those early states. All right, rent eviction moratorium, really big movement to get a eviction moratorium in place overnight. Literally as this channel's video went live yesterday about the importance of eviction moratoriums, especially in California. Massive, massive protests right here in Los Angeles about people worried about eviction moratoriums expiring. We have one still in place, expiring in just a few days. Millions of citizens on their street pending just a few days from now. Landlords just salivating at being able to evict their tenants, just loving it. Banks hoping to grab properties in foreclosure, and then rich cats of Wall Street sitting on the side ready to grab people's properties at 10 cents on the dollar. There's that environment occurring, and I really don't think that I really do think that you're going to get a standalone bill for that as well, because Republicans, whether it's Marco Rubio out of Florida, who said last week we got to do this, Mitt Romney, or Democrats, all say you have to have a standalone bill. So As we come into Saturday morning, I want you to stay positive. I want you to stay focused. And these are the few things I want you to take away from you. One, you're getting a stimulus check. You're getting a stimulus check. It's not coming today. It's not coming tomorrow. And if there's a negative nanny who wants to jump in the comments and says, you're never getting a stimulus check, you're never getting a stimulus check. Okay, delete, go somewhere else. You're getting a stimulus check. I'm not here for naysayers. I'm not here for people spewing false stuff. You can go watch Fox News for that. I'm not doing that. Two, we're here to share information. I adore the sharing of information by viewers. They're sending me things on Twitter. They're sharing things, in different regards, but don't share false stuff. So some people are sharing stuff about, this steak was going to throw $100 on top of it. Just don't share gossip. We don't need any more gossip at this point. It's just exhausting. Three, I want you to stay very in tune to the Republican National Convention next week, not because it's, your favorite primetime programming, but because I have told you that there's a lot of talk that the president will issue executive orders next week to give you relief, and that he will announce incredible coronavirus relief, either through him or other Republicans. There's a lot of talk that's going to happen. And if it does happen, the microcosm of the movement of the negotiations will change very quickly. Really great news. Coming this afternoon is Afternoons LA. Do me a favor, go to the front of the channel. There's a button there. It's usually red. I had asked for it to be purple. In the days that we're really angry at Nancy, it gets very red. Hit that subscribe button. Yesterday was one of those first days in about 3 weeks where the algorithm was not friendly. It happens every 3 weeks. It's usually on a Friday. And the algorithm was not friendly. So I need you to subscribe. I need you to like. I need you to share. You were sharing like incredible. Sharing incredible. But please try to get this video to like 10,000 likes. Let's just keep on hitting that like button. Share it on Facebook. A few viewers really were wonderful sharing things on Facebook. I thank you so much for the deepness of my heart. And subscribe. Go to the front. If you don't show a little red button next to your name, that means you haven't publicly subscribed. So it's important that you publicly subscribe. Jump into my pinned comment below, and I have a link on YouTube that explains how to ensure that you're publicly subscribed, so people see a little red button next to them. Next, if you don't know, there's like a little blue button. Yes, there's a blue button, and that blue button represents people who are top commentators on this channel. So congratulations to those of you. These are people that got a lot of thumbs up from other viewers, hearts from me. So if you want to be a top commenter, keep on commenting. Hope your friends on the channel, hit the positive on you, or I hit the heart next to you, and you'll get a blue thing next to you. It's very, very exciting. Coming up this afternoon is Afternoons LALATE at 3:30. I want you to stay with me. I know this has been a path. The path is almost to is heading down the yellow brick road. We're almost to the wizard. The wizard is not Nancy. The wizard is the IRS who has your checks. Have a great morning and see you this afternoon.